Everyone, welcome back to week 3 of digital forensics. We're now on video lecture 2, cool AI forensics tools. And we talked a little bit about fact checking images a little earlier in the semester, but now I want to dig in and really, do some more work with them. We'll get to it again in week 7. So we're kind of rolling this out to you early here. We're going to work with 3 tools: Google Reverse Image Search, TinEye, in Fact Check Explorer. We'll use the first and third ones pretty heavily. So make sure you hit pause and you open up these 3 tools and are logged into them. Especially Fact Check Explorer, you really need to be logged in to Google to access that. So hit pause and then we'll get started with them. Okay, welcome back. You should have these 3 tools open: Reverse Image Search, TinEye, and Fact Check Explorer. They're all under week 3. Video lecture 2 on our syllabus schedule. So let's get started. I'm going to have us look at some images here, and I'll drop these into your class folder too, so you have them in the week 3 folder. This is a photo of a pot bust in Nebraska, just outside of Lincoln, Nebraska. This was making the rounds on Facebook. I saw it on Twitter. I saw it a lot of different places. They've got all the bags of pot piled up on the cars. It was talking big long story about it along this interstate. So if you open up this image, if you want to open it up now, just pause it, and open it. But I'm going to kind of walk through it visually before we ever reverse image search it. We might not even need to here. But as we look at this image, we see it's along Interstate 80, I-80, and looks like there's some two-way traffic on here. There could be some construction. Typically in interstates, 2 lanes one way and then 2 lanes the other way, and they're divided by a big median. But there is some construction cones here, so maybe it's some weird thing where we have traffic going both ways. They seem to be on the wrong side of the road too, unless we're over in Europe. You wouldn't be driving on those different sides of the road, so it does seem a bit odd there. If you look too, some of the things we look for is text on images. If you look down here, it says Nebraska State Patrol. This one says State Patrol. Don't know if Nebraska would misspell State Patrol on their squad cars, on their state trooper cars, but maybe they do. Also, it's gibberish text up here in the image as well on top of this sign. And just being from there, I know that there's no I-80 South. There's a 180 South that takes you into Memorial Stadium, but Interstate 80 is an east-west interstate. Now, that's something you may or may not know, but you could go look at a map. You go look at Google Maps of the U.S., and you would see that it's an east-west freeway or an east-west interstate. We see all the pot bags piled up here, and I'm looking at these patrol cars. They also don't look like Nebraska State Patrol cars. So I could go into Google Images if I needed to confirm that. And I'm going to just do, what does a Nebraska State Patrol car look like? And take a look at the images here. And here's some. Doesn't have the writing down the side, but they come in black and white, and they don't SUV version as well. Different fonts on the side, logos on the side. It's also won some awards you'll see through here as the country's best designed state patrol car. They won some award for that. So as I look through here, the current state patrol cars don't look anything like the ones in the picture. So that's where you can just do, basic image search. You can do this with locations as well, which, we're going to get to a little later in the semester, how to use Google Earth to confirm a location and see what a location looks like. That will help you fact check. So this is an AI generated image, and they put up a little fake news story with it about this big pot bust in Nebraska. If you just take a look at something closely like that, the little details, fact check the type of car. Is there an I-80 South? The gibberish text up here and down here. This will help you fact check something very quickly, and it'll discredit pretty much everything that they've produced with that post. We've talked about this image too, I think early in the semester. It's a real photo from the Kentucky Derby, even though it's been highly saturated. It looks like an AI generated photo with the lighting and the color and the skin tone and some other just real oddities where it looks like it's kicking up gravel and it's actually pieces of dirt. Very odd angle too. The photographer was able to get under the guardrail and get this fantastic shot. One thing you can do in Google Images is you can drag an image in there. And this is a little bit of review from, I think, week one. Drag it in, and it says Google Lens. It goes through and evaluates the image and tells you, where it was captured. It's from this horse race, links to various stories that have that photo in it. You can open these up. Sometimes you can get social media posts too, like Facebook and stuff like that. So you can open these up and get the full context. And it's a real photo. They just did, some filtering on it. Some things you probably shouldn't do to a news photograph, but I think they were going for more of a photo illustration effect with it. And that sometimes that's the way people approach it. Also, if you want to fact check an image, this is one that's in your folder as well of the Hurricane Sandy street shark. It's a very old photoshopped photo. You can see the water behind the shark's fin here. If you want to fact check it, you can drag it in here and see right away where it's appeared online. And this is one, this is actually an article about fake photos from hurricanes, so it gives you that context right away. Another tool that will do a good job of this is the Google Fact Check Explorer. In the Fact Check Explorer, I really love this tool because I can search for topics in it, and it will give me fact checks about anything that's going on about that topic. Fact checks on news stories, fact checks on social media claims, fact checks on blog posts, viral images, video, and audio, all kinds of stuff like that. Like this one's a claim made by some Facebook users that the ocean temperature decreasing in that 9-year period is a hoax, and that's misleading. The claim is based on cherry-picked data, and you can go in and read the AAP fact check in here. All these organizations that are linked in this database that list the fact checks are all organizations that are part of the Poynter Institute. It's a think tank down in Florida, part of their international fact-checking network. This one here is from AFP, Press Agency France, many other organizations as well in here, USA Today, Science, Feedback. There's all kinds of them in here. Some lean a little more to the right, some lean a little more to the left, but they tend to focus on the facts. This is really helpful too at tracking news stories. And have there been any recent fact checks on on a story that you're maybe thinking of linking to or sharing online? Doing a little quick search on a couple of keywords from that story, person's name, the topic, whatever, oftentimes produces a result like this where you can go in and see, oh, hey, this is rated as satire. It's not a real news story, or it's rated as a fake post or miscaptioned. Sometimes they're just placed out of context, those types of things. So really good little tool. It added right before the pandemic this little search by image tool right here. I was a beta tester on this tool, which was really fun. And it allows you to drag the images in, much like Google reverse image search, like I just showed you. But one thing this one does is it will show you where the image first appeared online. It'll give you that right away instead of the most current post. And to do that, as long as you're logged in, as long as your little icon is up here in the upper right corner, right here, as long as you're up there and you're logged into the tool, it will give you this thing called image contexts. If that does not appear there, that means either you're not logged in or you're logged in on a Google Workspace account. And I mentioned that in week one. So you don't want to, be logged in on a Workspace account, like if it's through your work or, the university used to have Workspace accounts. We don't anymore. So it's usually not a problem. Just log in with your personal email, you have access to it. And it shows, of course, that this image, first appeared online in 2012, October 2012, right during Hurricane Sandy. And over here, it links off to the stories about that image and where it's appeared. And this one is from The Verge, and it's on fake news photos. That one password protected, but there's other ones you can open up and actually see the stories. 10 fake photos of Hurricane Sandy. And you scroll down, and there's your photo right there. And it gives it some context, so that it's been published before, that it's older photo. It's not from a recent hurricane. This photo that I showed you of the shark is very popular. It gets shared during every hurricane. People, oh my God, this shark swimming down the streets of Houston during Hurricane Harvey. No, it's not. Google Fact Check Explorer and Google Reverse Image Search are two of the more popular search tools. However, TinEye, TINEYE.com, this is one that runs a little different algorithm. And you can drag the images in here, cut and paste a URL in here, hit upload and upload your image, whichever way you want to do it. It also has Chrome plugins where you can just right click on the image and it'll do it that way. So it'll allow you to do a lot of really different cool things with the tool. It runs a different algorithm than Google does. So sometimes you get results out of here that you don't get somewhere else. There's also another one out on the market called Reilley. It's REVEYE.com. And this is a Chrome plugin. You can download it in your Chrome store. I'll link it off of our syllabus schedule under week 3. Reilley reverse image search tool. And it's just giant eyeball here. And you'll just hit install for Chrome instead of remove, because I've got mine installed. A little training video on there, but I'll just show you how it works real quick. I like this one because it's very efficient. And you can find any number of, I think it's 4 different search engines work at once. So let me go in and find the Hurricane Sandy street shark image. I'll just find it online here. And there it is. And I can right click on this, control click if you're on a Mac, and then go in and go down here to where all of my plugins are. I have one tab and all these others. And I have reverse image search. It says search in all search engines. And what it'll do is it'll open a tab for each one. This is for TinEye. This is Yandex. Okay. This is Bing. Okay. It shows, different articles and places that image has appeared. CNN actually has it. Different algorithm. It picked up on that CNN one that Google didn't earlier. So you get some little different results here and there. And then this is Google Lens again in Google Reverse Image Search. And, it picks up and shows me all these places where this image has run and gives you plenty of context. But you're searching over 4 engines at once, which is really nice, some of these, Yandex, is from another country, so it's a different language, but you could translate this if you wanted to. So anyway, think about TinEye and Reilley. Installing Reilley as your Chrome plugin, and then you can just right click on any image and reverse search it on 4 engines at once. And all of a sudden you have, a fantastic, very robust search. So that's just a quick 101 with reverse image search. Those images, if you want to practice with them, are going to be in your week 3 folder. And then we'll actually do some exercises with some images a little later in the semester. We're in week 7. We're going to fact check some photos, some audio, and some video. Because once we cover all 3 of them throughout the semester, then we'll have you start doing work with them. So wanted to get that up and out of the way right now. So part 3 is coming up on the next video. And we're going to dig into AI detection in text. So stick around for that one.